500 billion shillings, good people, is significant. We shouldn't be importing this food. We should be producing. And in fact, we should be exporting. Because that's what we are. So, as you pray for Kenya to produce enough food and for us to export food to others. Why? Because I am reminded of the words of Deuteronomy 28:12. The Bible says, God will open his treasures, his good treasures in heaven. He'll give us rain in season. He will bless the work of our hands. And finally, he will make us not borrow, but lend to others. That is who we are. And that's the promise we have from God. And it is that important. And as you pray, and I am touched by the gift and the accompanying statement on how strategic we should be, how we should trust God more, how we need to do what we have to do and trust God for the results. So even the gift you've given me is very prophetic and very significant. And I want to thank God for this morning. I will say two final things. That apart from doing what we must do to feed our nation, and I want to thank our farmers. Farmers are the most patriotic people I have come across. And by the way, you cannot be a farmer if you do not believe in God. Because you need tons of faith to be a farmer. And this year, our farmers have grown beyond what they did last year, 200,000 acres of land to produce food. We want to thank God for our farmers. We want to really thank God for our farmers. They are doing a phenomenal job, and we will support them. Two final things, as I said. Raymond works for a very important company, Zamara. Zamara has been, when I was running the campaign, they came to me. Zamara and other people in that space came to me and told me, listen, something I already knew, but they came to reinforce that as a country, we are not doing very well in the space of saving. And yet the Bible says, all of you know, Proverbs 13:22 says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. That tells you a bad man what he does. And continues to say, but the wealth of sinners is stored for the righteous. Right? So we were not in good space in terms of building our savings. In fact, they told me, which is true, our savings as a percentage of GDP is below 10%. Savings in other jurisdictions is 25, 30, 40. In fact, in China, it is 55, 55% of GDP. So they told me we have to change this because part of the challenge we have of borrowing is because we do not have savings. Therefore, we go to borrow from others who have saved. And I promised them that I was going to do something because it is something I believed in. I'm happy that today we've changed the metrics and we are now doing what we should have done 15 years ago in the space of savings. And I'm very proud that I can now tell you that the money we saved in NSSF, and Raymond would know, is about 350 billion shillings in the last 60 years. But because of the new formula that we have agreed and we have begun implementing the last 4 months, we are going to double that money, the 350 billion. We are going to double that money in 4 short years. And in a very short while, maybe 10, 15 years, we would not need to borrow from elsewhere. We can borrow our own money as Kenyans. I said that was significant because of where Raymond works. And he's speaking here today is very instructive for me, that a man from Samara, the people who persuaded me that this is where we should go, I want